Should you buy and play The Witcher 1 in 2024? Today, I'll attempt to give you a comprehensive, yet concise review of The Witcher 1, and whether it's worth your time amidst other more advanced modern games. This is coming from someone who just recently finished The Witcher 1, the videos for that are on my channel, so I guess you could say I'm relatively well educated. The Witcher 1 is the first of the Witcher games and was released 17 years ago in 2007. I think it's safe to say that this game is old, and with it being old, it of course is not going to stand even with modern day expectations of games. And with that, let's get into what The Witcher 1 has to offer. Story. The story in The Witcher 1 is, if you're someone who's interested in the Witcher universe, pretty good all round. Minor spoiler warning of the plot, but nothing major at all, I promise. The Witcher 1 utilizes an effective opening by introducing the antagonists, a group called Salamandra, and their leader Azar Javid, however you wish to pronounce it, who plans to steal the Witcher mutagens from Kaer Morhen for whatever wicked plans he has. Of course, there are plenty of times we see Geralt being cool, calculated, and badass like we all know and love, but we also see interesting antagonists such as Azar appear early on and strike us with intrigue. There are plenty elements of drama, memorable characters such as Kalkstein, the alchemist, and other characters reintroduced from the books, such as Triss or Zoltan, who have interesting dialogue with Geralt. As for the ending, avoiding spoilers of course, it is very effective in giving you satisfaction and setting up for future projects such as The Witcher 2 and 3. Overall, the story can drag on and feel a bit sluggish at times, but generally speaking, it's very enjoyable for both Witcher fans and non-Witcher fans alike. Atmosphere and soundtrack. The atmosphere that this 2007 game manages to create is nothing short of obtusely fantastical. The game, outside of the graphics and awkward cutscenes, immerses you very well in the atmosphere. It actually feels as though you're experiencing first-hand effects of the medieval world, with the plague and all sorts wrecking human society. There are various areas in the game, such as the popular city of Vizima, ruled by King Foltest, a popular name for a few of you book readers I'm sure, the swamp, inhabiting horrors such as drowners, deadly killer flowers, golems, corrupt humans, druids, and many, many more. The swamp is immersive in the sense that you will absolutely hate it. I could ramble on all day about the different zones and how they're uniquely immersion grabbing, but I'll stop there and let you find out for yourself if you so choose. As for the soundtrack, The Witcher 1's soundtrack consists of many dramatic and calming pieces. Whilst I'm not an analyst of musical excerpts, I can certainly spot a track befitting of praise when it appears. The music fits the theme of whatever you're currently doing in most cases, with some exceptions due to bugs and whatnot. I'm not going to play any of it for you due to potential copyright risks, but that'll add to the surprise when you play for yourself, I imagine. Overall, they give a very medieval, fantasy, witchery vibe, especially the tavern and roaming music tracks. Now, I believe it's time to get into the famed combat. Unfortunately, this is where we part with the positives for today's video. The Witcher 1's age really begins to reveal itself through its combat system. I'll start with the movement. The movement in combat and outside of combat is predictably clunky for a 2007 game. Sometimes when you're trying to run away from an attack or a sticky situation, the game won't even do you the service of registering your input, leaving you vulnerable to whatever you tried to evade. As for the dodging in combat, this too almost never works as intended. You could be pressing your buttons in a well-timed, precise fashion and be met with a motionless Geralt in-game. The attack system's no better really. If you level up your skill tree, you get a few extra animations for your sword swinging, but it's really just a rhythm game with extra steps, with no depth beyond clicking when signaled to. I mean, fistfights in the game are more in depth than sword and sign usage after all. That was a joke. Kind of. And finally, sometimes you genuinely could be 20 meters away from an attack, but so long as you were close to the enemy when they launch the attack, it will hit you. And that, to me, is incredibly poor design. Coupled with obnoxious bleed and sun mechanics, this can make for an incredibly unenjoyable combat experience. Let's hop into voice acting. And for this segment of the video, I'm just going to play you this clip.
Geralt, it's me.
Seen enough? Okay, moving on. Graphics and skill tree, boy here we go. Now, listen, of course this is a negative because it's 17 years old. However, for a 2007 game even, the graphics still pale. With games such as Bioshock and God of War 2 coming out in 2007, The Witcher 1 had no room to compete whatsoever, unless you were a diehard Witcher fan, like me. But I must say that, in my opinion, the graphics aren't terrible, but they aren't very good either. Definitely not a strong point to say the least. As for the skill tree in The Witcher 1, it's very simplistic and boring. Frankly, I didn't find it very fun to spec into anything at all. There was no unique build that I was excited to work towards, to try out, nor were there any intriguing perks that I wanted to use in game like there are in other games. It's very one-dimensional, with most of the upgrades just being basic stat boosts, with no real unique addition to the experience, or substance outside of enemy die quicker, me happy. This is where I'll wrap up the pros and cons, as I feel like I've said enough for you to gauge generally what the Witcher 1 experience is like. TLDR, basic, janky, but stimulating, given enough interest in the Witcher universe. So, when all is said and done, Is The Witcher 1 a worthy purchase in 2024? The answer differs from person to person, of course, but here's mine as an avid Witcher enjoyer. Yes! But also, no. If you happen to be a Witcher enjoyer such as myself, you'll likely find a lot of patience for the cons of this game, and find a lot of love in seeing familiar faces and personalities show up in-game. However, if you don't particularly like The Witcher, or if you're new to the series, perhaps it'd be better to pick up the books first, or play The Witcher 3, as many new fans have come to do. With all that being said and done, I hope this review has given you some crucial insight into The Witcher 1 experience in 2024. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to hit the little like button down below, and while you're at it, subscribe and hit that bell button. That'll be it from me today. Have a great rest of your day and happy witching? Witching? Yeah, that. I'm gonna go deal with my Helldivers addiction now. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye. Mwah.